Hoi hoi folks, good morning, good afternoon and good evening wherever you are in the world. My name's Sean, aka Uncle Frogface, and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, then welcome. If you're not new, then welcome back. And I have to say, I'm absolutely freezing today. It is so cold. So I've stuck the radiators on, got a lovely warm blanket, nice cup of coffee, and I'm going to settle in and do a little bit of a review today. So I have, as some of you may know, I am an influencer for Stabilo, which means I don't get paid for anything, but they do occasionally send me some free items. So this month I have got, well, I was sent these a while ago and they've kind of been sitting in my stash waiting. So these are the Stabilo Woody 3-in-1 crayon pencil things. And then I was also sent recently the same thing, but the 3-in-1 duo. So these ones are two-tone, two-coloured pencil crayons as well. So these have a lot of claims. I've seen other people use them, has some really nice effects with them. We're just going to have a little look, a little deep dive into what these are and see whether this children's art product is suitable for adults as well. So I've got a few things set up. I'll turn the camera around and let's get stuck straight in. Okie dokie, right, here we are. So, yes, Stabilo Woody 3-in-1. We have the Arty set, which is a set of 10 colours. We also have the Duo, which is also a set of 10 colours, although 2 colours in each one, so, you know, technically that's 20 colours. Wow, maths. I used to be a maths teacher. Why did that take me so long? I think the cold is actually affecting my brain. Right, okay. So what are these? So it says, first of all, that these can be used on glass, which is interesting, and also we have bit of glass here. These are also my favourite Stabilo word, aquarellable, which means that they can be activated with water as well. So I have my cactus jar of water and I have a bunch of brushes over here, so we're going to be testing that out as well. But essentially these are our pencil crayons. So whilst I open this up, if I can find a knife or scissors, the struggle is real. Okay, hold on. This is what happens when you don't pre-plan and you don't open things up. Come on. There we go, that's one side. I do try to keep these boxes neat. It doesn't always work. That's why my whole office slash studio is a mess of art supplies. Okay, right, so the boxes, there we go. You can see it's slightly wider than it needs to be because we have this very chunky sharpener here. So this is made specifically for these. You can see we've got one in here as well. So these have been sitting in my office for a while. So you can see that the leads on them have kind of got a little bit of white on them, but actually just rubs off really nicely. So who are these designed for? These are, as it says, these are a children's art supply. But when have I ever let the fact that something is made for children stop me from using it to try and create something pretty with it? So yeah, this is what they look like. They've got quite a thick lead. I don't use water-soluble crayons very often. In fact, I think the only time I've really used them outside of school is, do I have any here? Yes, I do. It was these Marabou mixed media things here, which were very soft, and I was not a fan of them. However, there we go. I have lots of friends who do use art crayons because of how they react with water and the effects that you can get with them. And the kind of the one that always comes up that is everything is compared to is Caran d'Ache Neo Color 2, I believe is what they're called. So I have not used those supplies, but I may get some just to test them out. But apparently that is what these are closest to. The big difference being that these are surrounded in wood and the Caran d'Ache are not. So you get about the same thickness of lead, but it's just wrapped in paper. Now, For someone like me who's a little bit heavy-handed, I'm kind of hoping that this is going to be a little bit easier for me and I'm not just going to snap them. But I think before we get into kind of really chatting about the supplies and what they can and can't do and blah 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 blah, we should probably swatch them out. So I'm going to start by swatching out these ones, which are the 3-in-1 standard colours, and then I will do these ones, which again I just need to snip these little bits of tape. Snip. Snip. There we go. Hopefully that's done it. There we are. Oh, that's odd. One of mine is upside down. Can you see this one here? It's a bit sus. But there we go. Let's turn it round, and it's a two-tone green blue. These are very interesting. These remind me a little bit of the Magic Colour Pencil. Let's see if I can find it. I think it's over here. So this is a Koh-i-Noor Magic Pencil, which has got 3 colours kind of all mashed together. I'm not sure how clearly you can see that. But there we go. It's got red, white and blue. Very good for kind of just sketching loosely. And I kind of feel like that's what this is going to be for me as well. But if we have a look at some of these colours, we've got a lovely pink and white, like a peachy colour and white. Really nice. They will kind of go together really well. Same as this. We've got this greeny and then darker greeny tealy colour. We've got this one as well with the pink and the purple. Then we've got some which for me are just a little odd, but we'll see how they work. So for instance this one, blue and orange, they're opposite colours, so I'm not quite sure how they're going to mix together and what result we're going to get. The same as this, red and green, opposite colours. What's that going to do when we try actually using them? So let's start first by just swatching these out. Do I need to sharpen any of these? Oh, these are all pretty flat. They're flat-ended, and I think that is what this pencil sharpener does. I don't think you can get past the flat end, so that is just how they are. So I'm also quite interested with these, since they are put my teeth back in, aquarellable. When I have used Stabilo pencils, for instance, that are aquarellable, then I just take a paintbrush, dip it in water, and take it straight from the pencil. So I'd be interested to see whether that is an option for these as well, as kind of a different way to store watercolours, depending how well they work as watercolours. Right, okay, let's, I'm just going to tip these all out. Let's get them all out. There we are. Oh, lovely. I've made lines already. That was a quick swatch. Let's go try and put these into some kind of order that makes sense. So we want to go that way, orange, green, blue, pink, purple, black. Okay, that to me is a nice order. I'm going to quickly swatch these out, and I'm going to swatch these out first on the white and the black paper. So I'll do the white paper and the black paper beside it, so you can see how they work on both of those. Let's start with the white. Okay, well, so over this side, I'm not too surprised. Crayons on paper, and just so you know, this is Daler-Rowney mixed media paper. This black paper is just W.H. Smith's standard black paper stock. It's very thin. This one is much better at taking water, so we'll try out the watercolours on this side. I'll do a little bit over here so you can kind of see how it looks on black, see if it changes the opacity. But yeah, this side, really nice vibrant colours. They're really smooth, they go down well. This side, I'm actually surprised at how well they came out on the black. It's really, really nicely pigmented. I'm actually a little bit in shock. The white in particular is very, very nice. Obviously you can't see that here, but you can see that here. Same with the black. You can see it here. Can't really see it there. I'm going to take a brush, get my cactus of water, and I'm just going to do a little... I'm not going to do the white because... Ooh. Ooh, okay. Interesting. That is nice. You know what? I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit clearer. Let's do it this way. Here we are. So you see them against each other. This is really nice. I like that. I'm just going to get myself a tissue to clean my brush as I go. I'm a very messy artist. Okay. So red, thumbs up. Let's just quickly go through and do the rest of these and see how they look, and I'll do a couple on the black as well. Okay, we're going to stop there because I think that is a really nice test. So, on the mixed media paper, I should probably do... So when I come to actually do a piece of these, I'll use some proper watercolour paper. But it's mixed media paper is great for swatching. Yeah, over this side, I'm actually super impressed with these colours. So the colours, they spread really nicely. The pigment doesn't separate from the binder. I think maybe that's to do with the paper as well. But you don't lose any vibrancy in the colour as you're wetting it and spreading out and using it as a watercolour. I may have forgotten to take off some of the blue down here. However, on the black, and this might be to do with the fact that this is not a watercolour paper, it is literally just black cartridge paper, it does separate out. So it's not as clear, it does start to go a little bit muddy and murky. You can really see the paper through the pigment. However, I would like to try this on black watercolour paper. I don't have any black watercolour paper, but I'd be interested to know if any of you have tried that and whether there is a difference. So far, super happy with these. I'm going to quickly now, let's just zoom the camera out. There we go. And I am going to take a look at some of these duo colour ones. So, here we've got blue and yellow. So if I draw a straight line, yeah, we've got blue and yellow, and then if I kind of go together, we get a green. You can do a bit of mixing as you're using them. So I can do one side yellow and then kind of transition over to a more blue. I want to try and put a bit of water on this and see what happens. So if I okay, you can get a bit of a blend. That's interesting. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see this. Whoop, there we go. Yeah, so you can get a little bit of a blend. I want to see what it's like just on the straight line. So down, up and down, up and down. Not quite what I was expecting. How about when we've got both of them mixed together? That's a nice green. It's not my favourite green, but they've mixed together. Now I want to see if just using them as individual colours. So we've got yellow here, blue here. So essentially for the same space really in an art supply set, you're doubling up on the amount of colours. So there we go, that's the yellow. Good, that works well. Let's go for the blue, and again, lovely, lovely, lovely jubbly. Right, so I think for me, that's kind of how this is going to work. Let's try this on the black paper as well. So over here, I'm going to do yellow and blue. And interestingly, this blue, it doesn't appear in this set. So it's a different colour altogether. But yeah, it comes up really nicely. The yellow looks slightly different as well. This one looks lighter than the one that's in that set over there. We have got some over here where they double up on colours. So for instance, we also have a purple and yellow. So I want to see whether this yellow is the same. And yes, I believe that is the same. It's a different purple, but it's the same yellow. And I'm going to try that over here. Yellow. Purple. And just wet that. There we go. And do the same with the purple one just here. That is a lovely purple. That is a really nice colour. But yes, for some of them where we've got double colours, so the yellow here has definitely doubled up. I think the orange might be like this as well, and potentially one of the blues. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the pencils out as I'm doing it, so in the same order, and then we can kind of go ahead and see if we can match up some of the colours the way we've got doubles. Let's zoom out a little bit. There we go, so we can see everything. I'm gonna pop the black to the side. I'm still gonna keep swatching on these, but I need a little bit of space to lay out these pencils as well. I need a bigger desk. Right, there we go. So we've got this one first, then we did that one. So those yellows are definitely the same. Let's get some more of these. It's also worth noting we've also got another sharpener in here as well. Okay, so we've got brown and orange. So I'm going to swatch these and I'll catch up with you afterwards. Okay, right, so this is interesting. I'm not going to go through and wet all of these because we've seen what happens when we wet them, and I don't think there's going to be any change in any of these as we go through. But it is good to have a look at some of these colours and how they match up. So let me just grab a pencil. So these two yellows, definitely the same. I think, let me just double check. Blue. So we've got quite a good variety of blues. So these two are the same. These two are the same. Let's see. The oranges are the same. And I think that's it. So if we go through and count unique colours in this set of 10, so 20 colours, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 colours. So that means we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4. 16. We've got that one down there as well, the white. Yeah, 16 unique colours, which is obviously more than we've got over here. So it's an interesting test. The supplies actually they're nice supplies. I want to try and use these, so just like we did up here, blending them together, I want to go through each one and see what happens when we just scribble them both together and then add a little bit of water. So this one is actually orange and black, not brown, just my poor eyesight. There we go. And then once we've done this, we will test out what these are like on glass, because I'm very interested in that. Is that right? Yep, then we've got this one, the green and brown. I must say, just kind of scribbling with them, the actual wax lead part is really soft, really smooth. I'm enjoying using them. I could see myself doing like life drawing or something with these, doing big gestural strokes with them. And then finally we've got this one down here, the peach and the white. Okay, so that is all of the colours kind of scribbled together, both sides at once, and now I am going to go through and wet all of these. So, as to be expected, when we've got opposite colours, we get browns, because that is how colour works. Black and orange, the black's going to dominate and create a brown. The two blues create a different shade of blue. That's lovely. That's really nice. Red and green, opposite colours. This is going to make, yep, you guessed it, a brown. What else we have here? We have brown and green. This is going to be another brown. There we go. I mean, they're so far all different shades of brown, but they are all brown. Pink and purple. That's nice. That almost looks like this colour over here, somewhere between those, which makes sense because that is those colours. Come on, Sean, open your eyes. Right, the two greens together will make a different shade of green. Yeah, very nice. We've got the the blue and the orange, opposite colours. This will make, any guesses? Yep, a brown, slightly green brown, but a brown. And then finally we have the peachy pink and white, which makes a lighter version of that colour. Almost completely disappearing there on the page, but not quite. It'll be interesting to see what that's like on the black. So yes, these are all the colours individually on the black. You can see they're incredibly vibrant. They are really, really nice. I'd love to do some black work with these. It's not what I'm going to be doing today, however. I'm going to clean this off. Right, so I'm going to pop this aside just for a second, and I'm going to choose a couple of these and just swatch them out on here before doing a little bit more experimenting. So let's start with the white. Hopefully this will come up nicely. Wow, that actually draws very well on glass. Just given me an idea that I want to test out. So the red. These would be really nice if you were doing like a window display in a shop. You could use these on the window and then just wash it off afterwards because they're water soluble. Okay, so that definitely works. Now what I want to try is mixing colours on glass. So using this as a makeshift palette. So I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to take the yellow. There we go, that's yellow. I'm going to take some of this green, which is already a fairly yellow green. I'm just going to try mixing them together. So a little bit of this, and a little bit of this. Might have been a little bit heavy-handed on the water there, but they do mix together, and because there's no friction, there's no gription on the glass, they just completely blend together and create a new colour, and that's really pretty, and that's really smooth as well. I really like that. It's light, it is very light, so I wonder if it was a more pigmented colour. So let's do some purple, let's do some blue, and now I'm just going to use a tiny bit of water and not be too heavy-handed. Mix these together. That does look lighter. Again, it might just be me being heavy-handed with the old water, but look at that. A nice, smooth, consistent colour. So actually, even though it's a limited colour in the set, and this is the smallest set, you can mix your own colours for it as well. So that's very interesting. These have now dried, mostly. So I'm going to see if I can reactivate these colours, whether they set or whether they do reactivate. So I'm just going to take a little bit of water on this red one, which has completely dried. And yep, we can reactivate the paint that's there. So that's also interesting. And I love doing these videos. I just get to experiment with different things. Okay, right, so I think that is enough for just playing around with these. I'm going to crack out some watercolour paper, and I'm going to see if I can put together something that is a nice piece of artwork. And whilst I do that, we'll have a bit of a chat at the same time. But I will be back in just a moment. Okay, so a little bit of doodling later, and this is what we've got. A lovely Spider-Man, because, well, for reasons that will become very clear as we go into super speedy time-lapse and voiceover. Cue voiceover. And it really is going to be a super speedy time-lapse today. I spent so much time investigating these that actually this nearly hour painting, I really got lost in it. I had lots of fun with this. I just wanted to condense it down as much as possible. So Spider-Man, yes. Why am I painting Spider-Man today? Well, apart from the fact that it's Spider-Man, come on, why not? Who doesn't love superheroes and who doesn't love Spider-Man? well, those of us that love villains more, I guess. But a good friend of mine, Michelle, has a grandson who's named Mason. So hi Mason, I know you'll be watching. He's a big fan of the channel. He's also a big fan of superheroes as well. So Michelle recently had her 70th birthday party, and when we went along, I actually got to meet Mason after hearing so much about how much he enjoys the channel and the artwork. So I thought that I would do a nice piece of artwork for Mason. So knowing that he's a big superhero fan, this is for him. And not only that, I'm actually going to give him the full set of Stabilo Duo 3-in-1 pencils as well. So Mason, really hope you enjoy this, and I'll give these all to Nan, and she can give them to you next time she sees you. But yeah, that's why we're doing this. Now, whilst this is actually happening, I just talk a little bit about the process. So I very lightly coloured it all in with the pencil, and then went over with the water. I really like this effect. I really like how versatile these pencils are. I asked the question earlier, would I be able to lift the pigment directly from the pencil and use it? And yes, you absolutely can. Also, having that sheet of glass there to be able to scribble on, and then use a bit of water and use it as a little palette on the side, not only did it work amazingly well, but it was so easy to clean up. Literally one spritz of water, wipe it over with the tissue, and it is completely gone. So for those of you that are thinking about doing kind of window displays and things like that, these would be phenomenal. As long as you've got no moisture, because then they would start to melt. But yeah, this is my Spider-Man. So I'm doing most of it with a mix of the single colour and one colour. Sorry, the single colour and the duo colour. I could have used just the duo colours on this, because it's pretty much the same colours as we've said. So the reds are the same, the black is the same. But since I was scribbling it down, we're getting the same effect anyway. With these bits here, I'm doing exactly the same as I did with the main Spider-Man in colouring it in, except this time with some of the exclamation points around the head, we've got orange going into yellow, so blending them on the page also worked really well, so very happy there. I really like the effect of it as well. Some of them you can still see some of the pencil on there, and this is on watercolour paper as well. So this is actual proper watercolour paper for a change, not mixed media paper. And then to do this background, I wanted something that would contrast with the red, so obviously going for the green, and we're using the duotone green here. All I'm doing is, as I'm scribbling around the edges, I'm twisting the pencil in my hand, so we're getting this variated background, and then going over it with the water and getting this really nice mottled green watercolour background, which was really super impressed with. Really like it. And I'm just finishing up with a few details. So I scribbled some black onto the glass, and this is a really hyperpigmented black here. I'm really impressed with this. I use a little bit of white for some highlights later as well, but I'm going to let you enjoy the last few seconds of this painting, and I'll come back to you at the end with my final thoughts. Bum, ba, ba, ba. Where did that come from? I have no idea. But yes, I'm finished. So this is the finished piece. This is the Spider-Man. And this along with the Duo pencils, are going to Mason. So I really hope you enjoy these, Mason. These are on their way to you. Nan will give them to you next time she sees you. Let's start with these ones. The 3-in-1 Stabilo woody pencils. These are really fun. Really, really fun. And actually, there's an added benefit to these, which I haven't spoken about, but actually probably should. So, I said it's very, very cold today. So because of my health, sometimes if it gets very cold, my hands can get a little bit stiff, and then holding a pencil like this can get a little bit painful. So actually having something this chunky to work with is really, really useful. So if you're someone that suffers any issues with your hands where gripping is an issue, I would recommend these. They're really, really good for that. Also, I kind of feel like I want to get a big A3, A2 sketch pad, set it up on an easel and just go to town with these. Professor Clara Liu over at Art Prof uses crayons for some portrait work, and they are amazing. I don't know what she'd think of these, but I could definitely use these for something like that. They're really, really good. So, my overall thoughts on these, very, very nice. And honestly, the opinion doesn't change much when it comes to the Duo. They're pretty much the same product, except you're getting two suppliers in one. So for the background of this, using one where it wasn't going to turn into a brown when it mixed together for the two-tone green, really, really lovely. I think you get some really nice effects with these. Being able to mix them with water as well, really, really nice. So, of course, what we found was there's a lot more colours with this one than with the standard set, and that's to be expected, and better colour variety, even though you're doubling up on some colours. But bear in mind, these are marketed for kids, they're children's art supplies, so actually I think kids wouldn't care about that and they would just go to town and absolutely love it. For us kind of older, more mature artists, I still think these have a valuable place in a workroom. I am going to get some other art crayons like this, so some Caran d'Ache and some other ones, just to give them a try, because I've kind of been bitten by the bug with these. I've really enjoyed what I've been doing today. I'm kind of going more into watercolour anyway, so it's kind of playing into that. But yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think. What do you think of this piece? What do you think of these pencils? Is it something that you would use? Have you used them before? All of that good stuff. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. But yeah, I'm going to go and get ready for choir practice and package this up along with the pencils to give to Mason. And for the rest of you guys, I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. And until next time, goodbye.